Follow me and come to LMU. We got some dogs. I'm a dog, yeah. I'm a dog, hey. I'm a dog. I'm a disciple of God.
What's going on, Element Youth?
What are you looking at? Oh, over there.
The camera. There's
What's
cameras
going on,
everywhere.
Element Youth?
Everyone find a camera, point at it. What's up, Yogi? What's up, everybody? I am here. This is a special episode of the EY podcast. This is the ECLI takeover.
Come on
now. Each and every one of us here are currently ECLI students. Joel, will you explain what ECLI is for the folks that don't know what we're talking about?
I can, yeah. So ECLI is the college that Element Church has. So we go through the college SEU. So we're an online campus. We all kind of just hang out all day. We don't actually do anything. It's Southeastern University.
No, what is ECLI?
Element Church Leadership Institute.
Is that the final patent for that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, some things might be changing here soon. But right now,
But it's the college.
right now we are all currently being educated through ECLI at Element Church. Educated. It is a satellite campus. And so we want to come on here and talk to you today about, you might be in the stage of life where you are currently looking for schools to attend. Maybe in the next year or two, you're going to be looking for schools to attend. Or you just want to know why the four of us are running around youth every Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Or the church all the time.
The church, yeah, pretty much. So we would come on here. We wanted it to really just sort of, do a cool takeover episode, talk about ECLI, some of our experiences. But before we do, I have an icebreaker question for you guys, just to kind of get the creative juices flowing.
This is the only question we don't know yet.
Yeah. No, you're not supposed to tell them, Joel.
Oh,
Cut
They
that.
don't know.
Behind the scenes.
They don't know the question. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Oh, this is easy.
All right, Joel, if you know.
I've thought about this many times.
If you know, go for it.
Honestly, I could eat a steak every day. So
you could not.
Yes, I could.
See, that's
Steak is so
hard.
good.
That's hard.
I would say a steak. I'd say a baked potato with sour cream, butter, cheese, bacon. So
Make
good.
me hungry.
Throw in a salad.
No.
Yes, because salad you can do different things with.
But
'Cause you have to,
I
or
guess
'cause
that's
you
part of the
want to?
meal. I guess that's part of the meal.
So I could do Caesar salad. I could do.
You just say,
I do a
I'm just going to
little
go to the
concoction
buffet
at
every
home.
day for the rest of my life.
Let's see,
Golden Corral.
and then end it with ice cream, and then
All right.
I don't care what drink.
Okay.
You don't care about your bev?
Well, I would say an energy drink, but my heart's probably gonna explode. If that's
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So,
As Brian drinks his energy drink. We will all pray for
I
you.
already had one in the car.
If I got to choose one meal, it would be the 4 cheese mac and cheese with honey pepper chicken tenders from Applebee's.
So you wrap that like M&M.
That
Yes.
I love those. A salad for my nutrients.
Of
Boo
course.
hoo.
Boo.
And like mozzarella sticks.
Ooh, mozzarella
It'd be
sticks for
so
the
honest.
You
win.
have the 4 food groups.
Cheese, more cheese,
Carbs.
Carbs,
Protein.
carbs, fat, trans fat, high fructose corn syrup, all the
chicken. Yeah, the four, and then like
The
I'm,
4
Bev?
horsemen of the apocalypse.
I'll be healthy and say a 0 sugar root beer.
There you go. Dude, zero sugar root beer is fire.
It
Yeah,
just
it's
tastes
good.
like root beer.
It does.
There's no difference.
They're either lying or doing some magic.
This might be crazy,
Real.
but I don't like root beer.
You are
The
crazy.
door.
Get out.
The
The
door.
door.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's wild.
All right, mine would be a grilled cheese.
All right, starting off bold.
Yeah, bold statement. A grilled
you being for
cheese.
real?
I'm being for real.
Mac,
being
I don't.
for real.
I've known
Every
you for
meal.
almost 2 years now. I don't think I've ever seen you eat a grilled cheese.
Ditto. I've been to your house and I've never
Personal,
seen you
man.
eat a
It's in my quiet time with the Lord. It's the only time I partake in grilled cheese.
I'd eat grilled cheese. I would eat. I guess I'll throw a salad on there, but who cares?
I like.
Everyone else did
my
it, so I'm
thing was
bandwagoning.
just I like salad. I wasn't saying like, you don't have to have a salad in a meal.
The French fries from Tattooed Dog, specifically, or
Like the buffalo
Barbie's
chicken
french fries.
ones?
no, bro,
Just
just the
the straight
regular
up fries.
ones with their ranch,
Okay. I like
and then strawberry milk, top it off.
that. Ooh.
Yeah, with 7 Brew because I would need that.
Can I be
I am
so
running
honest?
on 3 7 Brew gift cards right now.
That is exactly what my 3-year-old niece would choose for their.
Yes.
Bacon on that dog. Okay. If I had to eat one meal for the rest of my life, it would definitely be pizza, because I feel like pizza's super
Okay.
versatile. You can put anything on top of it. Like, it's not a cop out, but it's better than steak every day. Like, I would eat a steak
Right.
for like a week and be like,
I'm done.
but you could put steak on a pizza. A pizza
could.
is a blank canvas
Okay.
where God creates his most beautiful art.
But think about this: you could do different types of steak too. There's fajita steak, like you could have.
No,
it in
no,
different- It's the same thing with
no,
chicken.
no,
You
no,
can
it's
make-
not.
You can
No.
just make chicken.
You said a
grilled
steak.
chicken, and put
No,
it
because
in a taco,
fajitas
put it in- like,
is
there's
different than
things.
steak.
It's still whatever.
No, you
All right,
you
agree to
violated the
disagree.
rules.
To the questions.
Yeah. All right. So I've sent you guys these questions. So hopefully you've been thinking about them, maybe spending some time in prayer about these questions. But we all came from different walks of life before. I know for like me and Jordan, well, and Mac too, we've all been at Element for a super long time. I know, Joel, you've come from
Everywhere.
really. Texas, Idaho, Iowa, Michigan, the Philippines.
Not even close.
And so I'm just curious, what were you doing before you decided to join ECLI, and what was the deciding factor? What was that moment you were like, yeah, I'm going to do ECLI?
Yeah. What was I doing before ECLI? Being a prideful delinquent. That's what I was doing.
Come on now. We got a lot of them listening.
With
Shout out.
No, yeah. Before ECLI, what I was gonna do for college, I was gonna go. There's a Christian university in Florida, not SEU. I can't remember what it's called though. And I was gonna go. I was gonna get a PhD in. Everyone just got shocked.
Yeah.
I was gonna get a PhD in like psychology and divinity and go into Christian counseling.
Oh. You'd be a great Christian counselor.
Thank you.
She's my Christian counselor, actually.
Yeah.
I just don't pay her.
I'm gonna start charging you every time we hang out.
I keep her on retainer.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get out of Missouri. I did not want to stay. I wanted every chance to leave my hometown, and I've stuck around. And the only reason why I stuck around is because God told me to.
Yeah.
Because I think I've told this on the podcast before, but I was driving to church January 1st, 2023. And I was like, so this is what I'm going to do, Lord, blah, blah, blah. And I just got this deep unsettling in my soul. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I got so mad. But I told God, I was like, hey, look, like if I get a really good scholarship, or if they personally offer me to go to ECLI, I'll go. And then guess what happened? I
Right.
personally got offered to go to UCLI, and I got a great scholarship. So,
Right there. I
I'm
love
here.
it.
and I
you're here.
love it. I am so happy here. Like, I'm not kidding you. There is no better place to be than in God's will. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Come on. That's a whole sermon right there.
I love it. I'll go next. I have quite an interesting story to this. So I was at Mizzou. So I went straight
Tigers?
from Go Tigers. Yes, exactly.
The zoo.
The zoo.
she's gonna become a zoologist, actually.
Yeah, that's the only reason I
I'm
went there.
studying botany.
Anyways, I went straight from high school to Mizzou because that's kind of where all my friends went. So I followed them there. And I was doing nursing, and nursing is something that I wanted to do my entire life. And when I was younger, people would say, "Why do you want to do nursing?" I was like, "Because I want to help people." Like, just such a simple answer. And so I was at Mizzou, living the way I should not have been. So, yeah, I kind of got a lot of depression there, a lot of anxiety there. So I ended up coming back home to St. Charles Community College for a little bit, planning to transfer back to a university, and still kind of living the same way I was before. And I went to church one service, and the Lord changed my life within
Amen.
one service. And he called me out of my ways, and he called me to his. And yeah, it was within one day, and I know that's crazy, but I feel like Paul every time I say that. But yeah, that's where I met the Lord, and that's where he turned me 180. And so over the next couple weeks, I started hearing about this college, and my mom would bring it up. She was really constantly on me about this.
Yeah.
You should go to this. You should go to this. And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm doing nursing. I was on a good path. And one day I heard about it, and the Lord was like, that's what you're going to do. And so I walked up to Pastor Eric in the lobby.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to go to your Bible school. And I was terrified. I didn't know anyone. I didn't want to do it, but I knew that that's what I was called to do.
Real.
And then the Lord placed vision on my life of going there and leading his people in youth ministry. And I kind of just showed up, and everyone was like, "Oh, who's that?" My fiance tells me that when I walked in, he was like, "Is she 30?" Which,
no way.
whatever, bro, whatever. But
Speaking of your fiance, where's your ring?
oh, so I took it off because when I go to the gym, it rubs against the bar,
Party
and then I
foul.
forgot to put it back on. I knew someone was going to ask that, but I am engaged.
So where did you meet your fiance?
I met my fiance at ECLI.
No way.
Oh.
And when I say that,
No, I can't say that.
No.
I was gonna say, come to ECLI, you might find your future husband.
yeah,
You
for
could.
real.
You could.
Or wife for you guys out there.
I say that I was so scared to go, but I knew that Jesus would fill me with everything I needed. And when
Amen.
Jesus says, "I'll give you life and life abundantly," that's what he means. I mean, I had
Amen.
nobody, and now I have everybody, and people that will pray with me instead of telling me and leading me towards other things. It's the most beautiful thing that could happen. I love ECLI. I do. Seriously, it's been the best path that Jesus has put me on, and it's provided me so many opportunities that I would have never gotten
Yeah,
other than that.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. Joel?
Honestly, growing up, I was a lot like Mac. So I am a pastor's kid, always been around church, constantly serving, and just like, if there was a spot that needed to be filled, you better bet that my dad was coming up to me and be like, "You're filling this spot," and I didn't really get a choice, type of thing. But honestly, I fell in love with it a little bit, but it was always like, no, I don't want to be what my dad is. Like, oh, that's cool. I have a respect for him, and
Right.
I think he's doing great. Completely support him and believe the same things as he does. But the thing is I don't want to be a pastor or whatever. So freshman year of high school, I was thinking about being a school counselor, because I always wanted to help people. Like, that's very much my heart. And so, thought about physical fitness and being a trainer and all these different things. And then it was about, when we moved to Texas, our youth ministry was really small. And honestly, I felt like I could step up and kind of help lead. And so when I stepped up, it was like, hey, wait a second. I could do this for the rest of my life, you know? So it wasn't like, I felt this. I looked up in the sky and God's face was right there, and he said it. You're supposed to do this.
Right.
You're supposed, this is your calling. But honestly, I just felt like a sense of peace while I was serving. And so I started looking into different colleges. I was pretty good at track.
Yeah.
Pretty good at cross country. So I started thinking about, maybe I try to combine the two. I'll get a scholarship for track and then, pursue something in ministry.
Yeah.
And again, I was looking in Texas because I thought that we were going to be there for a little while. And then I ended up, it was like, you know what? Track is not my thing. Like, I love track. I love the time that I had doing it. And I really did enjoy it, but I knew it was time for me to move on from that. And it was time for me to set aside the thing that wasn't my calling so that I could fully pursue my calling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started looking into, there's Highlands College,
Oh yeah.
the conference we went to. I actually got a scholarship to there.
Motion.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, I could go here, and I went and visited and everything. And it was more expensive, and then my parents were like, hey, guess what? We're moving. We got the job at Element.
We're going
and
to
Element has always been,
Missouri.
Element has always kind of been like the home church for us, just because like that's where my grandparents have always gone and whatever. And so when I found that out, they also were told about this college.
Come on.
Called ECLI.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, hey, this is something I could check out. So I actually came up here on a spring break, and I met with some people, and they told me all about this college. And I was like, the reason I came here, well, there's two reasons. One, I was close to family. That was important to me. I wasn't ready to just be 10 hours away after living with my family for 18 years. But then the second part was, it was a small college. And so when it's a small college, you can normally do a little bit more. Like,
Totally.
I can serve in any place that I wanted to. I
Yeah.
can serve in any department, and not at just any capacity, but high capacity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I figured I would learn a lot more here with leaders who would pour into me, and I don't have to compete
Right.
with a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Because there's only 9 of us.
Yeah.
And so that was like, I'm going.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah.
I believe that there was a reason why all of it fell into place at one time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, my dad getting the job, me finding out about ECLI, and then meeting everybody, and then now I have a sense of like I've never had friends like this. I've never had people like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my little story
Yeah.
about just how I got here.
Touching on your point before we move on to Brian,
Yeah.
because dude, your story's really cool, and I want you to get into it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a college where you know you're gonna get real world experience,
Yes.
dude, come to
Yeah.
ECLI. Like,
Yeah.
there is no other college in the area that does what Element does.
Absolutely.
Because all of us, I mean, even Hunter, who's a first year student, is getting real world ministry experience. And Dr. John has said it before. If you go to any other college, if you go to a seminary, you're not getting
Nope.
practicum time.
Right.
You're not in the ministry, solving ministry problems, working with people. You're not learning how to work with a team. You're not learning how to do what you're going to do for the rest of your life at any other place like you do at Element.
High
Like,
capacity here.
yes.
Yeah, it's a
And
different
so-
capacity than any other church
Absolutely.
has, to my knowledge.
And it's not like thrown into the deep end. It's like, hey, we're gonna come alongside you.
Yeah.
We want you to
Yeah.
succeed.
Absolutely.
Here's tools to succeed. Here's people that are gonna help you succeed. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've had 2 separate conversations this week actually, which I think is kind of funny, about students that are like considering like, because
Wow,
I mean
that's awesome.
they're juniors, they're seniors,
Yeah.
they're starting to look for college, and they didn't even know ECLI was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I told them is like, listen, if you're not 100% sure that ministry is your thing, I would still advise to go to ECLI or someplace like that,
Yeah.
because you can still get just an associate's degree that can
Yes.
go to
Right.
anything.
Right.
But you're starting to do ministry,
Yep.
and you can totally tell by the end of it, like, okay, this is something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is something
Yeah.
I want to keep
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Versus, I tried it, it's not for me, but what's the worst? You just learn more about God. and
Totally.
you learn more about your
Totally.
leadership skills.
Yeah.
That can apply to anything.
And the
So-
to your point also, if you're worried about like not really knowing if ECLI, like, if ministry is your thing, SEU is accredited, so you
Yes.
can take
Right.
those credits
Exactly.
and go anywhere else.
That's
like,
the best. Yeah, that's the best thing. Also, SEU offers non-ministry degrees too.
Yep.
True.
They
Exactly.
offer
Yeah,
nursing.
yes.
They offer. So like the best option, if I wanted to go into nursing but get a God-centered
Yes.
schooling education, ECLI is like the perfect thing because that's
Yeah.
what SEU offers.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
for everything. It's not just like I'm getting a Bible degree.
Yeah.
Which most of us are.
Yeah.
But you can get any degree you want and get hands-on ministry experience. I mean, like that is the best option that you can take when it comes to that.
Dude, I remember, like, I think we've all taken it at this point, but my nutrition science class,
Bro.
somehow they were like working in like biblical themes and like
Yeah.
Bible
Yeah, it
scriptures,
was
and it's
so
like,
cool.
dude, I'm learning about like how fat breaks down in like my bloodstream or something, but like the Lord's good.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's biblically based, but you're still getting, exactly what
Totally.
you
Yeah.
need. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
good point. Good
Anyways.
point to make.
Your story is amazing.
Yes.
So I would like you to touch on that, even though I'm not
Please do.
leading this.
Okay, I will. Okay. All right. I'm trying to think of like,
Everyone, turn your listening ears on.
so my story is a little wild. So for the longest time, I grew up at Element. For the longest time, I was walking in the calling that I knew God had on my life. And through some time and some unfortunate situations and just some pride on my part, I got really bad church hurt. Like I was like, I'm done. Like, man, like I love God still, but like,
Right.
screw this place.
Church hurt from Element.
From Element.
And that's important for the
Yes.
rest of the story.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done with this place. Like, I'm gonna go live my life, and so through all of this, I ended up getting like a really great job. Like in a worldly sense, people would be like, yeah, this kid's made it. I was 20 years old. I had my own house. I bought a brand new car. I bought a brand new PlayStation. Like I had all the time,
swimming in
all the
cash,
money.
bro.
I got a dog. Like, and at the same time, I was dating my now wife, and she, as the spiritual leader, unfortunately, it can go both ways. But it was kind of my decision leaving. She kind of followed me too. And looking back, and we've talked about this and had some reconciliation, but it was like at the time, it was definitely not the best move, but I was hurt. And she was like, well, I'm following this dude. Like, I love him. I know I'm going to marry him. Like, I guess we're leaving Element. And so we go out and we get these secular jobs and we're making great money. I'm in sales. She's in the medical field. We're living our best lives. You know, we get engaged. We're going to get married. And I remember I was sitting at Christmas services, I think in 2023, whenever Hannah did So Will I. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
I remember
Great song.
I'm sitting in the second row and I'm just at church. It's like, you know, I'm going because my mom wanted me to go to Christmas services. I'm
Shout
not
out Kim
expecting
Roots.
anything, right? And I'm sitting there and like the lights come down and Hannah comes out, she starts singing the song. I just start uncontrollably weeping.
Wow.
And I'm just like I have felt something I haven't felt in a year or two, and I'm just sitting there like, God, what have I done? Like, can I backpedal? Like, can I come back? Like, almost like a prodigal son thing. But I'm like, I'm too ashamed. I definitely didn't leave right. I burned a bunch of bridges. I was like, there's no way. And so I'm sitting there, and I start talking with Madeline, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think I made a big mistake. And so we were just talking, and there was a friend of mine who worked at Element at the time, and we still had some sort of a relationship. And he was like, hey man, you know, they're hiring for associate youth pastor right now. You should apply. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not doing that. And so he just keeps badgering me, and he's like, hey, if you apply, I'll eat lunch with you one time a week. Like, we could just go and have lunch and just like be friends and hang out. And I was like, all right, fine. Like, that was
Free food.
that was like
for real.
the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was, I really attribute a lot of me like coming back and having the courage and like feeling wanted and welcomed back to this individual who worked there, because I had cut a lot of ties, and so it was really hard to come back. It's, you know, like you've essentially lived in this place for so long, and then you're gone for 2 years, and it's like, I don't have a family anymore. It's like that second family.
Yeah.
And so I apply, and you know, I start going through it, and this is what I love about our leadership team, about Pastor Eric, Pastor Leo, Dr. John, Pastor Jay, is that they will never take advantage of someone for the ministry if it's going to sacrifice their soul.
Yep.
And I see it time and time again. But I'm sitting there in this interview, and they're like, Brian, like, you know, we think that you'd be great for this, but like, we'd really like to see you have a degree, and we believe in you. Like, we want to see you grow, because we could put you in right now, and it could be the death of you. But we believe in you so much. We want you to go to ECLI. And we want you to get this 2-year degree, and man, like, we think that would be the best thing for you. And at the time, I was like devastated. I was like, no, like, I was so close. Like, I'm starting to come back, and I'm starting to get this opportunity. And then it was like, God's like, hold on, is your heart ready?
Yes.
Is it in the right place? Is your pride issue gone yet? You know, and it was a real humbling experience. And so it was, and it's so beautiful. And I love our leadership, because they were like, hey, like, we want you and your wife to come and do ECLI. And for those of you that are getting married, you know, dating, whatever, like, if you get to do ministry with your wife or your husband, it is the most beautiful and wholesome thing in the world.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I love doing ministry with my wife, and I'm so blessed that I get to do it. And so, long story short, so we decide to come to ECLI, and it was like a Elijah burning the plows, right? Mm-hmm. It's like we're selling everything, clearing house. We sold my house, sold my car. We moved in my father-in-law's basement. We were roughing it for the longest time.
Yeah.
But God is faithful, and we never went without.
Yes.
There was always food in the fridge. Somehow there was always gas in the car. And so we start doing ECLI, and man, like, it has been the most fruitful and amazing thing that I have ever done. It was the hardest decision I've ever made, to say, all right, family, we're throwing security out the door, and we're saying, God's got this. Ooh. And he has been faithful 10 times over.
Praise Jesus.
Just the opportunities, the friendships, the experience, the education, the closeness that this caused with God has been just mind-blowing. And so now we're almost done with ECLI, and it is the best decision I've ever made.
Amen. Yeah.
And the reason I ask this question, it's like because a lot of people are going to come from a lot of different places.
Yep.
And this isn't even just for, because I was out of high school for almost 4 years before I came back to college.
You're old.
And so ECLI isn't just for people right out of high school. It's for people who are in their 30s who want to go back to school. It's for people that maybe took a year or two off, a gap year or two, and they want to come back. They've been serving in church and like, maybe this is something I want to do. So it's not just for high school seniors. This is for everybody who wants to get that degree, to get closer with God, to pursue their calling to ministry. And that's what I love about ECLI. It's like, it's not your typical like high school or college experience. And I've never been to college other than this. So maybe it could be, maybe it's not. Mac, you could speak into that. But it's like, it's just, it's so inclusive.
Yeah.
It really is like the friends that you make that become family. Like all of us are so close. Brennan and Hunter, Evan, Alex, like all these amazing people that we've met along the way. It's just really, really cool to see that and be a part of it and look back and be like, all right, I'm here now. Man, God was so faithful.
Yeah.
Amen.
God is so
Come
faithful.
on.
So
I will say this too. It's a much more affordable option than a university.
yeah.
And my one regret, which this might not be everyone's, and there are some people that love universities out there. My one regret was going out of high school, not really knowing my plan and dropping a bunch of money on a university. And if I could have went back, I wouldn't have, because it gave me a wonderful testimony that I'm able to share to these students. But if I would have went back, I would have made the financial decision to do something like ECLI because of how much college is. And if you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, this is a great place to start. Totally. Because it's like so much more affordable. And if you're in an I don't know what to do situation, dropping 20 grand on a college is probably not the best option. 18-year-old Mac.
20 grand on like a semester.
So, oh my gosh, yeah. So if you're in that boat where you're like, I don't really know, I'm kind of not sure, ECLI is probably the perfect option for that.
Yes.
And I would just say that coming from someone who now has 10 grand of student loans because I made the wrong decision.
Yeah, I'll also say for those listening, come ask us, come talk to us. Like I feel like I can say this for everyone. Like we will tell you our experience and we will be truthful. Like what we've said now is not even the half of it. It's not even the quarter. Yeah. Like, but seriously, like come talk to us if you're even curious, if you want to know more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got really amazing experiences, and we've got experiences that have built us up into be better people. Right. So, like, we can tell you everything and everything in between. But I mean, we don't really have a lot of more time. So
yes, really quick before we're done, just so that we could, because we were in the thick of it. We want to end a little more lighthearted. What is your favorite part of ECLI? It could be something big, could be something small, just anything really quick. Closing thoughts, favorite part.
Jordan's ready.
Going to Sam's Club. Going to Sam's Club.
Yep.
Going to Sam's Club and Costco. We go there at least once a week.
We do.
To get pizza, to get those cheap yogurt, whatever the heck they are.
The yogurt sundaes with the brownies in them.
Absolutely. And I say that like kind of jokingly, but also like just getting to spend time with people who are like chasing God at the same level you are. Yeah. And like we take care of one another.
Absolutely.
Genuinely.
And we're an open group.
Yeah.
I knew none of these people when I walked in, and I was like, they're going to hate
She walked
me.
in, I've said this
and everyone was like, oh my gosh, nice to meet you. Come on in. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? We're friends.
Mac walked in, and my first thought was, I want to be her friend. Like,
and I was looking around, I was like, I don't even know. I feel like I'm starting over in kindergarten again. But I was welcomed in with open arms, and that's just who we are as a group. Yeah. Like, we're not this tight, like, we are this tight-knit group, but like, y'all come bring us more friends. Like, we're always down. So
come on now. To piggyback off of Jordan, that was genuinely mine. My answer was like the fact that like I think I've said it before, and I think I've even shared with you how sad I'm gonna be when it's over. But the fact that like we get to share lunch together almost every day.
Yep.
Like it's without a doubt 11:15 rolls around. It's like, where are we going for lunch? What do you want to do for lunch? We're going to the Don's. We going to Costco. We going to Sam's. Like
Taco Bell.
Like Taco Bell. Like what do you want to do?
Always somewhere cheap.
Yep. So
every single
broke.
time.
And
right?
it's,
We are
and it's so
college.
cool because like we could be talking about, like, sometimes it's a little bit deeper conversation. Sometimes we're
Right.
literally just goofing off and being knuckleheads in the middle of McDonald's.
Yes.
But it's like you're with your friends.
That's so
like,
real.
and it's just fun. And that's probably been my favorite, one of my favorite parts
Yeah.
is like just the friendships that we've made and like going to get lunch every day.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I'd say my favorite part is, gosh, the spiritual growth and the accountability when you get up every day and your school centers around the most important thing in your life.
Yep.
Yep.
When every single hour that you get to spend is with Jesus, and then you get to go to work and practicum, and you get to literally do and be the hands and feet of Jesus. Like, I found that so beautiful, and the growth that it puts you through, and like, you don't got an option. Like, you're not slipping away. Your friends are like, how are you doing spiritually? And you're like, oh wait, I have to be honest here. And that's been like one of my favorite parts in the community. Like,
Yeah.
Brian and Madeline have opened their house to like worship in the morning.
Yeah.
And like, I will not get emotional.
Do it. You can cry. You can cry.
I won't. Brian and Madeline have opened their house to worship in the morning, and like all the different gifts that you get to watch your friends work out
Yes.
Yeah.
is so beautiful. And Madeline's got a beautiful voice, and Brian can preach and lead, and Joel can preach and lead, and you can preach and lead, and you've got a beautiful voice, and like, it's just so beautiful to be able to watch everyone your age
Yeah.
use their gifts
Come
and
on.
use them during school and use them during work and use them when we're hanging out together. It's awesome.
Yes.
That is the word I'm finishing on.
Awesome. I love it. All right, Joel, finish us out. Round it out.
I
Come
feel
on.
like there's so many things, honestly. Like it is hard to choose a few things, but I think honestly it's a little bit of a cop-out answer just
That's okay.
because
That's okay.
I'm stealing everybody else's. But I would say the sense of community is definitely one of my favorites. Growing up, I never had, like, just because I moved all the time, I never really had a close-knit group of friends that, like, I'm literally with all the time. Like, I was the one that was like, I'll just go play video games at home and not play with anybody. I'm just gonna. Oh, that sounds really sad. That sounded really sad. No, I had a good time in high school. I promise. No, but in college, and
His reputation.
No, I swear I had clout. No, I promise.
guys. No, but for real, I never, like, I didn't hang out with a ton of people or anything just because I didn't want to be surrounded by the things I didn't want to be surrounded by.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Real, yeah.
now that I have
Wish I would've
this
done that.
close knit group of friends that are all chasing God together, like, I'm comfortable with, like, oh, I will go hang out with them because I know nobody's drinking, nobody's smoking,
Right.
nobody's doing
Yeah.
the things that I don't want to be a part of, associated with, or anything. And honestly, just the accountability that comes with that.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about it all the time, just that element as a culture of, like, we have graciously candid conversations.
Yes,
We're
we do.
just
That we
We
do.
do.
That we
we're
do.
just gonna we're gonna say it, we're gonna air it out, and then we're gonna go back to being friends as soon as we walk out of this
Yeah.
door. Type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with your friends.
Right.
Like, let's say Brian smells bad or something. I'm gonna go up to him and be like, listen,
This is a
Take a
real life
shower.
example. He's done this
It's-
before.
That's not true.
You need to buy a new deodorant.
but like, we will keep each other. We will keep each other accountable in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we aren't afraid to have those graciously candid conversations. We'll just be gracefully truthful
Yeah.
in the way we say it.
Yeah.
And then the other part is what Mac was saying, is how everything that you're reading, everything that you're doing school wise is all centered around Jesus.
Yes.
And just to, like, the amount of information that I didn't know before that I know now just about the Bible and
Yeah.
about my relationship with God it's crazy.
Most
how
of it
much
being
I've
from
grown.
Dr. John.
Yeah.
Shout out. No, I'm just kidding. But low-key.
Yeah.
That's worth the tuition right
like-
there. Our Tuesday morning meetings
Yeah,
with Dr.
literally,
John.
yeah.
But like our Acts class are like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, there were so
Yeah.
many good nuggets that I've gotten just out of this school that I don't even feel like I need to cheat on or chat GPT or whatever. Like in high school,
Right.
let's be real, you students, we know.
We know.
We all
We
know.
were there. We
Yeah.
cheated. But here's the thing.
Hey,
is in college I don't feel the need to do that because
Don't call
everything
me
that
out like
I'm
that.
learning is like I want to learn.
Serious.
It's not like,
Yes.
oh, I'm just going to check
Yep.
off my work.
Like,
just
I'm
so I can
actually
get it
doing
done.
the work.
I'm actually
Like calculus.
learning.
Come on, let's be honest now. Math is pointless in real life.
I failed a
That's-
math class in
all
high
right,
school.
whatever.
That's surprising.
No,
Art
it's
was
not.
my least It was my lowest grade, actually.
Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. This has been such a fruitful conversation. I love each and every one of you, and I'm grateful that we get to do life today together. And if you guys have any questions about ECLI, come find us. Check on the website. The summer's coming up quick, and so starting to get into that 2025-26 school year. Is that what it is?
That's
something like
weird.
that.
Yes, that's right.
So we're open books. Come pick our brains about that too. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning
ECLI
in.
on 3.
We'll see you next week.
1, 2, 3, ECLI!
Thank you so much for joining us on the Element Youth Podcast today. We hope today's episode encouraged you, challenged you, and helped you grow in your faith.
Hey, to make sure you get to stay up to date on everything Element Youth, make sure you give us a follow on our socials. We got TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, so go check them out.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you share it with a friend and subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified when we drop new episodes or anything else that we post.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us and tuning in today on our
Element Youth Podcast.